So most small businesses in New York City pay tax at the personal level. That's because most small businesses are set up as either LLCs, partnership, or S corps. And the whole point of setting up like that is the income passes through the individual owner. So the individual owner then pays the rates at their personal level. The New York City income tax rates are really between 3 to 4%. That's of course not federal, not New York State, but New York City personal income tax rates are pretty, narrow margin there. So by operating a business in New York City and living in New York City, you are paying an extra 3 to 4%. Now, it gets confusing, right? Because a lot of people live in the city, but don't necessarily work in the city. If you live in the city and your business is in the city both, you are sometimes going to get a credit of your unincorporated business tax and your New York City corporate tax against your personal income tax. Of course, it gets really technical because you've got all these different New York City taxes involved. And yes, if you don't live in New York City, but your business is in New York City, you are going to pay less. You are going to pay more if you live and work here, if you just like work here but you don't live here. And of course, you can operate your business completely outside of New York City and live completely outside New York City. You're not going to have any city tax to deal with. You only have federal and state. So, again, just being in a state and local jurisdiction like here, you have a lot going on, and things need to be, the comparisons need to be made, projections need to be made, estimates need to be made. And yes, it's a lot more work doing it here in New York City than it is, for example, doing it in a state or city that has no state and local taxes, like a Florida, Texas, Nevada, Washington. So, again, we are the expert on New York City taxes. We live, work, breathe here, anything New York City taxes. So we're happy to make these comparisons for you. And of course, compare that maybe a move makes sense. If it's better for you and your family to be operating, or you and your family, you and your business to operate in another jurisdiction, we're happy to explore those possibilities for you and run the numbers for you.